Hey folks, and welcome back to another live session. I've not done one of these for a few weeks now since taking some leave, but I thought I'd do one today for those of you who are in the Bluelight Facebook group to help you with your preparation for your interview. So tonight for course number 10 for the Online Assessment Centre course, there's a whole webinar where we're going to practice for 2 hours. So that's something that I'm looking forward to this evening. But this morning, I've just done a one-to-one session with someone who's preparing for their final interview. And quite intense, actually. A huge amount of learning. So I thought I'd share with you some of the learning points made up from my scribbly notes here. Scribbly. What normally happens is I'll pose a question. My client will answer the question as they would on the day of their interview, and I'll make notes, and then we'll work through it so that they can get the very, very best feedback. So let's just welcome a few people who've just joined. I know I should actually announce that I'm going to go live, but it's always spur of the moment. So Charlotte just joined us, and Haley's saying got my interview on Saturday, as well as bleep test and biometrics. Haley, I hope you're wading through the previous recordings of webinars, webinars from all of the interview course webinars that I've run over the past year. There's a place where you can access all of those. Haley, I know you've got access to it. I hope you're geeking out on that, and it's serving you well. So let's take a look at some of the things that we learned this morning. First of all, I was reminded of an old comedian from years ago. I can't remember his name now, but he said it's the way I tell him. I can't think of his name. If anyone's as old as me, they'll know who I mean when he said it. He said it in an Irish accent as well. It's the way I tell him. So what came across in this answer, and it was an answer to a time when you've worked with others to resolve a problem, was a bit of an approach which seemed a little bit arrogant in one place, because this individual took over from the leader and said it was my job to take over, and referred to the team leader in a way that was a little bit disparaging, and it felt a little bit arrogant. We talked about this after. It felt a little bit arrogant. It didn't come across as being supportive. And what the client said was, what I wanted to say isn't what I portrayed. And then when we debriefed the actual issue, he did come across as very supportive. He was supportive of this particular individual, but what was missing was detail. And because there was a lack of detail, it meant that he actually came across as being a little bit arrogant, and that wasn't him. It's not in his nature. I know him. I know this individual. It's not in his nature. It's not what he meant, but the detail brought out the supportive nature of what he did. So that's really important, folks, is to make sure we get that detail in there. Otherwise, as he said, what I wanted to say isn't what I portrayed. So that's an important, really important thing to bear in mind. Second thing out of the 7. So some of the individuals in this team were referred to as girls, and I did actually check in with my client after. Was it relevant at all to refer to them as girls? One, if you're a girl, you're under 18. And actually in this case, they were under 18. But often adults refer to other females as girls. And that could raise an eyebrow. Whatever you think, whether you think I'm being a bit woke or not, doesn't matter what you think. I know that some interviewers, that might raise an eyebrow and they might want to explore it. So the issue here was that the fact that they were girls wasn't relevant. So referring to their sex just wasn't relevant at all. So the way I'd phrase that is one of the individuals who was part of the team, because there's no need to mention the fact that they're actually girls. I know some of you might be thinking, woke. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't want to genderize people because it's just not relevant to the answer. It didn't have any relevance whatsoever to the answer. So number 3, and this is a golden oldie, this one, too much use of the word we. There is no we, there's I. I want to know what you did. I don't want to know what we did. So you've got to get a grip of that, folks. Got to get a grip of that. Let's see now. Number 4. Again, it's detail, but around things like we all did. Let's just go back a page. Actually, we came up with, we reached a conclusion, we checked, we decided to. So those are all things that you did. That's what you did. What was missing was how you did it. So you've got to include that as well. You've got to include how you did things. That detail, 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 detail. I keep going on about it, but it's so necessary, especially when you come to the crux of your story. So where are we up to now? Is that number 4? I'll come to number 5 in a moment, but I'll just do some shout outs to others who have come to join this live session. So Hayley's saying, yes, geeking out on all of those previous webinars. That's great. Reese is saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Reese. Henry and Lauren and Andrew and Lynx and Hannah and Rob, you're very welcome to this live session. Give me some loves and likes if it's the sort of thing that you appreciate, and any comments would be appreciated as well. And the reason why I like those is that when you like and love stuff and you add comments, Facebook thinks this is something I can share with others. But if you don't like it, don't love it, don't interact with this live, then Facebook looks at it and thinks, no one liked it. I'm not going to show it to anyone else. Because when I finish this, I'll press record. So hopefully helpful so far. Vicky's just come to join us as well. Welcome, Vicky. Like I said, if you've got any questions, please do pose them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer those questions for you. So number 5 out of this session this morning was the length of answer. So initially the answers were a bit too short. One answer, 9 minutes long. Too long. You're looking for an answer that's about 4 to 5 minutes long to give them the opportunity to probe a little bit. Most interviews are about 45 minutes to an hour long, and you'll be asked several questions, 6, 7 to 8 questions. Just do the math. That's more than 5 minutes per answer. So whenever anyone comes to me to say, I wonder if you could help me, I've failed one of my previous interviews, I often say, my guess is you were given an hour and yours lasted about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and they'll go, yeah, how did you know? And it's because there's just not enough information in your answers for them to be able to mark it to pass you. This one, too long. It was actually the answer to 2 or 3 different questions all rolled into one. So we've got to be careful about the amount of time we spend on our answer. Too little is no good, too much is no good. Just the Goldilocks zone will be about 4 to 5 minutes. And that's the same for the online assessment centre as well. You've got 5 minutes to deliver your answer. I know some people would say, oh, I only delivered mine in 3 minutes and I still passed. Yeah, we don't just want to pass, we want an awesome pass. Because you might end up in one of those talent pools where forces will ignore you, basically, because your score's not high enough. Right, so that's that one. Number 6, there was a question about analysing information in order to make a difficult decision. The difficult decision wasn't clear. You've got to be crystal clear as to what the difficult decision was, and crystal clear as to what the analysis was as well, what information you analysed, because it was a bit hazy, a bit vague in places. And the 7th one, reflecting on your practice. This goes for serving officers as well when they go for their interview boards for promotion or specialist interviews. Being able to reflect on your practice, reflect on the experience that you've had is a really important trait that they're looking for. And this isn't about just saying, I learnt the power of open questions, or I learnt that I should have challenged this person earlier. No, too vague, too cliched. Needs to be something really specific in respect of the incident that you're talking about. So having reflected on this, what I do differently in the same set of circumstances next time would be to do X, Y, Z, whatever it might be. Be really specific. So there you go, folks. 7 things that came out of a coaching session this morning. actually the individual was is going to do brilliantly. They are going to do brilliantly, but one of the things they said was that they've left their practice a little bit too late. So there's a danger that on the day of the interview, when they deliver one of their answers, that could be their first rehearsal. We rehearse and practice so that on the day we can come across as being confident and prepared. Does that make sense? If you want to find out more about how to join the one-to-one coaching or how to join the webinars where we practice in a group, so it's a little less focused on your individual needs but more on the needs of the group, then ask me in the comments, or if you're watching this on a recording, check the links below and you'll see the links. And if you're wondering, who is this Facebook group? Who are these people in this magnificent Facebook group with almost 20,000 members? Well, that's where this Facebook Live's going out to, but I'll make a recording of this and that can go out to, you might be watching this on the recording, so it'll be on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. There's a link to the Facebook group below as well. It's the Bluelight Police Recruitment and Career Development Facebook group, almost 20,000 members. Can you believe that? Amazing. Aki's just joined us, Aaron and Amy, I'm about to go soon, and Jack, unless you've got any questions. Haley's saying 96% with your help. This was Haley got 96% on her online assessment centre. With my help, all I did was show you the way, Haley. You did the hard work. That's the important thing to remember. I showed you the way. You did the hard work. So I know you're working hard now for your interview, and I'm quite sure you'll nail it. Okay, any questions, anyone, before I go? And actually, I'm just to let you know, I'm going to go live straight after this as well and answer a themed issue that someone asked me about. Someone who got an email to say that they were unable to progress their place on the next PCDA cohort, which was in October. If you're watching this on the recording, this is May at the moment. They're going to be in touch, and when they have details of the next cohort after October 2022. Alarm bells rang for me. I'm going to talk to you about why alarm bells rang and what you should do if you get an email like this one. So I shall catch you with you soon, folks. Hope you enjoyed this live, and if you're not watching this live, I look forward to your comments below on the recording version on YouTube or Facebook, or any comments that you might have anyway, if you're watching this live, although you've only got another few seconds to deliver those comments. Charmaine just joined us. Sorry, Charmaine, I'm about to go, but you'll be able to watch the recording. I'll catch you with you soon, folks. Bye-bye for now.